Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to get on here and talk about balance, finding balance, how I found balance with not with just food but with life in general. I feel like a lot of people struggle with balancing out what's good for you, what's, what you feel guilty about, especially food, but just everything in your life. Work, school if you're in school, social experiences, going out with your friends, making time with your family, and but this is gonna touch on some eating disorder stuff as well, just because it's a huge part of like finding balance for myself, but it also ties into everything in life. So I'm gonna start with balance in the food world, and that starts off with food nourishes more than just our bodies. It nourishes our mind. It nourishes you emotionally. I feel like food is connected to many things that you do in your life, like celebrations, even funerals, losing someone. Just we turn to food as like a distraction, maybe. We eat when we're bored, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I saw on Instagram, this one girl was talking about if you eat for another reason other than hunger, it's okay. As long as you just don't gorge yourself with Oreos or something like that. I feel like eating because you're in a social situation or eating because you're watching a movie and you want popcorn, like that's completely fine. Don't beat yourself over it. Beat yourself up over it. I feel like that's the main problem that we have, that if we want something to eat, we tend to just feel super guilty about it because it wasn't necessarily healthy, or it was a guilty treat, or what's your most guilty pleasure while eating. It's not really supposed to be like that. I feel like food, everything you eat should be enjoyable, and also even if it is an Oreo, it's still nourishing you in some way. I feel like I always use an Oreo as an example, but we think of like desserts as bad, which I went over in my last video. We shouldn't really associate any food with being bad. Everything is nourishing in some way. So food nourishes more than just our bellies. The guilt and food shouldn't be used in the same sentence. There is no such thing as guilty pleasures. There is no right or wrong way to find balance for yourself. Everyone is different and everyone has different needs. And I'm going to go into intuitive eating as well. So intuitive eating is basically being an expert on your own body, knowing the hunger cues, knowing when you're hungry, knowing when you're full, knowing with what your body needs to survive and also be happy, and not feel deprived, not feel hungry. Like 80% of the time, I feel like most people overeat or food takes over their lives because they're just continuously hungry. And that means you're not eating enough throughout your day. A huge thing that I think about all the time, and I'm guilty of this, is that we associate healthiness with being thin and being small and taking up less space in this world, when really it's about being able to perform at your best at boot camp or yoga. Or being healthy is carrying enough weight on your body to live, which is crazy to think about. But when you have an eating disorder, an eating disorder is highly, highly, highly psychological. Your mind is misconstrued, you're not thinking right, you have a completely unhealthy look on food and weight gain. And like when I was going through it, I was happy to hear from my family that I was too thin. And I was like, oh, okay, like, yeah, well, I was happy to hear that. And that's messed up. Especially because I'm already a small person, I'm petite. So, you know, I didn't weigh enough for my height. I'm only 5'1", and I weighed almost under 100 pounds, which is not good. You want to have enough muscle on your body. You just want to be, like, it's not all about being thin and being small. So I think that's what we tend to think about with being healthy, is being skinnier, and we got to change that. And that goes into what nutrients your body needs. Like I just said, everyone is different, so everyone has different needs. People feel a different way. If I eat an apple and someone else eats an apple, we can both feel differently about it. Like our body can react differently. Food should not be described as good or bad. It should just be food. And the different nutritional properties of each food. So you need to know what you need to know what your body needs to be at optimal health. And that's important. That's important. So you can eat what you want as long as you're getting what you need. All the nutritional, all the fats, all the carbs, all the protein. As long as you're getting all of that, you can be flexible with what you eat. You should enjoy everything you eat. I feel like we sometimes lose the pleasure of eating when we try to eat healthy, or, you know, tomorrow I'm going on a detox, or tomorrow our diet starts tomorrow. Like, diets do not work. And that goes for, you know, calories in, calories out. It's not as black and white as that. There are a lot of gray areas. Like when we talk about like 3,500 calories is a pound, which is true scientifically, and, you know, that's the measurement of a pound, but each food is going to react differently in a different person's body. And, you know, like I said, an apple could affect my hormones differently than somebody next to me. Hormones are a huge thing with weight gain, weight loss, you know, reactions to food. You know, you could have a gluten intolerance, you could have a lactose intolerance. You know, the person next to me, if we're both on the same diet, we're not going to have same diet as in like daily diet, what you eat, not like the keto diet. If we're both eating the same things, it's going to affect us differently. So that's why you can't compare yourself to other people. That's also a huge thing in the social media world. We tend to compare ourselves to, you know, the perfect body. Really, what is the perfect body? Perfect body is the one you have in which you feel most alive. So do you feel your best? Do you feel happy? Are you getting what you need nutritionally? Are you enjoying everything you eat? That is the perfect body. And, you know, you want your body to be strong, and you want to be grateful for what your body can do. Treat your body with a sense of gratitude. Feed it what it needs, but also, you know, celebrate what it can do. Workout wise, let's take a walk around the neighborhood. I'm going to walk my dog today. I'm going to go to yoga today. I'm going to try this new pose at yoga. I'm going to push my limits and use a 25-pound dumbbell instead of a 20-pound dumbbell. Just celebrate every little achievement and everything that your body can do, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. There are some people that can't do these certain things, and you need to feel grateful for, you know, how strong your body is. So I'm going to go back to intuitive eating. Intuitive eating makes you tune into your body about how foods make you feel. So that goes back to the apple example. I'm going to eat an apple. The person next to me is going to eat an apple. It may make us feel different. My stomach may hurt because I may be just, you know, it may just react differently to the nutrients in an apple. And that's not a bad thing. Just know that apples upset your stomach, and next time you'll eat a pear or some berries or a banana, or, you know, you don't want to feel like crap after you eat something. So you need to know like what certain foods and how they make you feel. That goes back to being an expert on your own body, knowing when you're hungry, knowing when you're full. Eat slowly, eat mindfully. I feel like a lot of us just like eat in front of the TV, or eat when we're on the computer or scrolling through Instagram. And you know, you want to be able to savor every bite. You want to be able to think about like the texture of what you're eating, think about the taste, think about you know, what sauce would go good with this burger that you're eating, and enjoy every bite. Because you know, when you don't know, when you're not looking at the food you're eating, or you know, when you take that last bite and you're just like, oh, like, did I even eat that? Did I even like savor that eating experience? And then you're going to be hungry because you didn't have that, you know, you didn't focus in on what you were eating, and you didn't enjoy that eating experience to the fullest. And that's just how I think, and I think that's important. You know, I know it's strange to think about and talk about like that, but if you really think about it, it is important. And you don't want to just eat for fuel, even though that's important, but you want to enjoy it, experience, and then you're going to be hungry because you didn't have that, you know, you didn't focus in on what you were eating, and you didn't enjoy that eating experience to the fullest. And that's just how I think, and I think that's important. You know, I know it's strange to think about and talk about like that, but if you really think about it, it is important. And you don't want to just eat for fuel, even though that's important, but you want to enjoy it at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to read something that I found from this girl, Kylie. She's actually from Texas. I follow her on Instagram. I followed her for a couple years now, just because she's a registered dietitian. She posts a lot of interesting stuff on her Instagram, and I feel like it's, you know, if you have problems like with what you're eating, or if you like overthink everything you're eating, it really does help to follow her and read her blog. Her Instagram is I'ma Eat That, and her blog is I'ma'EatThat.com. I will put the link in the bio of this video. So she made a chart on her blog, and it says diet mentality and non-diet mentality. So she lists all the things when you're in that diet mentality. So this is what I'm talking about when diets do not work. And this is the thing, these are the things that you think about when you're on a diet. Okay, so before eating, you ask yourself / think, do I deserve this food? So deserving the food, like you don't, if you want to eat it, eat it. You don't have to deserve it. You don't have to earn your food. You know, that's a horrible way of thinking, and you don't have to burn off your food either. You don't have to earn it, and you don't have to burn it. I saw that on Instagram, and I thought that was pretty cool. Do I work out enough? Did I work out enough today? Did I burn this food? If I had chocolate in my afternoon snack, I'm not allowed to have anything else sweet for the rest of the day, right? Wrong, obviously. I just had chocolate for my afternoon snack, and I probably will have ice cream later. So, you know, it's not, something sweet is not wrong for you to eat. If you're craving something sweet, eat something sweet. This is too many calories, I can't eat this. Calories is a unit of energy. Calories should not be seen as bad. Calories should be seen as something that you fuel your body with. I got on the scale and I don't like what it says, so I'm just not going to eat. Or on the flip side, emotionally eat and just be a bitch to everyone around me because I'm freaking hungry or overly full. So I used to do this. I used to starve myself and just be constantly hungry, walk around like a zombie and treat everyone like shit. I would get mad at my parents because they would constantly be on me like, oh, you need to eat more, you need to eat more. And that's not necessarily something that is you know, when you're going through it, like that's not going to help you. I've had friends like, do you even eat? You know, you must not eat if you're that skinny. Like I've had my friend say to me, you know, she recently just lost a lot of weight and she says people at work tell her, you know, you must not eat, which is, you know, there's a whole flip side to that I will get into after this, but we'll talk about it. And the last one, I love rice cakes. Rice cakes. You don't actually love rice cakes. Except, I mean, I do like rice cakes, but I'd rather have toast or something. But that's like kind of like known, like, oh, rice cakes are like nothing, so I'm just gonna eat them and not feel guilty. All right, so non-diet mentality. This is what you should be thinking before you eat something. Before eating, ask yourself, am I hungry? So yeah, that's knowing your hunger cues. Are you hungry? Don't just eat because society says you have to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at this time. It's really hard to, like, if you have, you know, if you have dinner with your family, like, and you're not hungry and everyone sits down for dinner, it's really hard to not eat. But I think it's like, I think it's very important that you listen to your body. And I've had many people say like, oh, like, why aren't you eating? Or like, oh, I'm just not hungry right now. And that's not a bad excuse, and that's not a bad thing to say. Don't feel pressured to eat something because everyone else says it's dinner time or everyone else says it's breakfast, you know, like just because it's lunchtime, just because it's 12 noon doesn't mean you need to eat lunch. I've eaten lunch at like 2 p.m. because I've eaten late breakfast before, and people are like, oh, why aren't you eating lunch? It's like, it is a lot of pressure, but I've literally gotten used to it, just saying like, oh, I'm just not hungry, and that's okay. Do I want this food? So the other day we had cake for an employee because it was his 50th birthday, and I'm the only one that didn't eat cake. And, you know, I felt a little awkward about it, not gonna lie. I was like, okay, like, this is weird. I'm the only one, like, not celebrating. So, like, I'm the only one not celebrating his birthday because I'm not eating cake. No, I just didn't want cake. I had eaten breakfast like 2 hours earlier. I haven't even eaten lunch yet. It was like 11 a.m. and I just didn't want it. And again, that's okay. Am I filled with too many negative emotions right now to enjoy this food? So if you just got broken up with, or you're angry about something, or you're going through a rough time, are you hungry? Are you going to emotionally eat? Do you want to eat because you're upset? Do you want to eat as a distraction? Are you going to actually enjoy it? And that goes to enjoying everything you eat. Just making sure that you're in the right state of mind to enjoy it to the fullest. Does this food sound tasty? If I don't eat this, will I feel deprived? So, if you really want a cookie, eat a cookie. And if you don't eat the cookie, you're probably going to end up binging on like 10 cookies later on. Just eat the 1 or 2 cookies and feel satisfied, and then move on. And don't feel guilty about it. It's not all or nothing. Is this food going to satisfy/sustain me? Sustain. So, is this food going to satisfy or sustain me? So, again, if you want a cookie, eat a cookie. If you want, you know, are you going to enjoy the oatmeal, or are you just eating oatmeal because you think it's healthy? Don't eat the oatmeal if you don't like oatmeal. You can have many other substitutions for breakfast rather than just oatmeal. Even though oatmeal is very, very good for you, there are other options. You don't need to eat something because you heard it's a superfood, or you heard it's healthy, or you heard it aids in weight loss. There are many other substitutions you can eat according to your taste buds. I got this from her website, and you should really check it out because I think that it really, really helps. She posted something the other day, and they're not just her, there are many other people that I follow on Instagram. She posted something the other day saying, I have a compulsive eating problem. And then the response was, maybe you're chronically under eating and therefore always hungry. So that's another thing. You're just under eating all the time because you think that, you know, you're stopping before you're actually satisfied and full. Therefore, eating and food takes over your whole thinking and your whole brain and your whole life. If you eat until you're satisfied, you're not going to be thinking about food until your next meal, which is way better than just thinking about food for your like whole entire life. Another one that I was talking about, our goal is to like just be smaller, and that's like not right. This quote says, "The life I want is not at the end of 80 years of trying to become smaller." So why do we try to become smaller? Like, why is that the thing? It's really not. I have, you know, at one point in time I was like a 00 in jeans, and now I'm not, and I'm bigger than that. And I don't like to even use the word bigger, but I'm just a bigger size, and that's okay. I don't even remember the last time I weighed myself. And weighing yourself shouldn't be a thing, unless you're really, really like have a goal. It depends, like, you know, if you're chronically overweight and you want to lose a lot of weight, there are a lot of girls at Burn Boot Camp that I go to Burn Boot Camp, and there are tons of girls on the transformation wall, and that's huge. Like, congrats to everyone who made it up there. It's just awesome. It's just awesome. It's just becoming a better you, and you're just celebrating what you've done, what you've accomplished. But I don't think that the scale should take over your life. Yeah. I do want to go over one question I got on Instagram. What are my thoughts on intermittent fasting? I don't really believe in any sort of diet, because unless like you're vegan or you're vegetarian for like animal rights or like the environment, and that's really great, you can still eat intuitively, you know, while you're vegan. But I don't believe in the keto diet. I don't believe in the Whole30 is okay. But I don't, like, I feel like you're cutting out certain food groups, and I don't like that. Unless you're gluten intolerant, that's completely different. Lactose intolerant, again, you can't control that. But intermittent fasting, I feel like you're ignoring your hunger cues. It's completely like, I can't eat until 12, and like you're starving at like 10 a.m. and you still have 2 hours to go until you're like allowed to eat something, because that's your fasting state. I just don't like that. I think that reminds me of starving myself back in college, and I think that you should eat when you're hungry. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care if it works for weight loss. I don't care. The most important thing is to nourish your body when it's telling you it's hungry, and I think that's like just completely against like what I believe in. So that's my thought on intermittent fasting. I don't mean to be so harsh about it, but you know, again, different things work for different people, and that's me. That's my opinion. That's how my body works. I'm not trying to put anyone else down. If your body, you know, if you feel your best eating certain things, that's fine. But just know that you don't have to do anything just because someone else is doing it and it works for them. You need to find what works for you. You need to master your own body and be an expert on how your body feels. And it's hard to get there. It's hard to find your balance. So, you know, with everything that I said, I know I feel like I just blurted out all this information about finding balance, intuitive eating, you know, diet mentality, my thought on diets and intermittent fasting and all that stuff. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I've gone through, you know, I had anorexia it's still in my mind now, but it was very prominent in college, where I had this mentality that like I just couldn't eat without feeling guilty, or like I wasn't gonna have a piece of chocolate because I felt like I was gonna gain 10 pounds, which is like irrational. So, you know, eating disorder is completely new topic, which I may do a video on that too, but this is purely about intuitive eating, mindful eating, and finding your balance. Balance isn't defined as anything else besides just you being happy, not overthinking, and celebrating what your body can do while nourishing your body, while enjoying all the foods you eat. That's all there is to it. And it's easier said than done. But don't overthink it, because that makes it worse. Eat what you want, and just recognize your body's cues, hunger cues, fullness cues. Recognize when your body needs rest. It's a huge thing. Yeah, that's how I found balance. And it's not the same every day. Sometimes I overeat, and that's normal. But, you know, I go by the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, I mean, I don't like calculate this every day, but 80% of the time I'm eating, you know, good whole foods, and 20% of the time I treat myself. And you really think 20% is kind of a lot. You know, I eat ice cream or chocolate at least every single day, or both. Just because ice cream is like my favorite. That's my dessert of choice. Cookie dough is also. So just don't be afraid to eat the foods you love, and just everything in moderation. Too much of anything is bad for you. I said bad for you, but too much of anything is just, you know, you want to keep it, you want to have a variety in your diet. If you have any questions, let me know, comment down below, and good luck.